In the next hour, you're going to be informed, you're going to be inspired, and you're going to have fun while it happens. Listen for the opportunity to call in with questions or check in by email. Now, here's your host for the Career Clinic, Maureen Anderson.
I love an exclusive just like any good journalist, so I prefer to talk. Is it the Everything HR Kit? Is that the name of the book?
Yes, it won't be coming out until May from Amacom Books, but it's written and it's ready to go, but you know how publishers are. They have their own time frame.
Well, sure, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
We try to aim shows not just at the job hunter, but also the employer. And I think you are uniquely qualified to talk about things from the other side of the desk. Why don't you...
qualified from the other side, yes?
Why don't you just rattle off a few of your credentials for us as far as human resources?
Well, I've been in the field for, I don't want to tell you how many years because it makes me old. I actually went to a comedy club last night. It's the first time the comedian pointed to me and referred to me as the old guy. That wasn't very funny.
Did you meet him out in the alley after the act then and show him what the old guy could do?
No, if you go to a comedy club, you got to have a thick skin.
Sure.
Anyway.
But it wasn't that like the first issue of AARP? You just want to go, I am not that old.
Well, sometimes we have to admit it, but I really am not that old. I just have gray hair.
How old are
you? Anyway, my background in HR, I've got my bachelor's and my master's both in industrial psychology, organizational behavior, all that stuff. Taught at Carnegie Mellon University and have consulted for 30 years.
Carnegie Mellon. Did you ever meet Randy Pausch?
I did.
You did?
I did, before Oprah did.
You did? Can you tell us?
Oh, yes. I mean, he is a cool guy. I mean, he was exactly what you saw on TV. And Carnegie Mellon is such a cool place to teach. It is very intensive, but I tell people it's the only place where students will appeal an A-. You know, it's
intense.
It is filled with brilliant prima donnas, and but it is a fun place to work. And I, in fact, when I do retire, I think I'll go back there and do it just for fun. Because
I'm sorry to interrupt, but it occurs to me not everyone may know who Randy Pausch was. He was the author of The Last Lecture, a book that touched millions of people. The speech that the book was based on, just I don't know how many zillions of hits that probably got, but what a guy.
He primarily did it as a legacy for his children and his wife. And he never intended for it to become, the sensation that it was. And it's a bittersweet story. It really is. But that's my background. In fact, I'm going to be speaking at the HR Summit in Singapore in May.
Singapore?
Yes. So that'll be perfect in time to launch this third book. So I hope it's big in Singapore.
Sure. What strikes you about the reaction you get when you travel overseas? Do you get different questions from the audience, for example?
This will be my first time to go so far international. I mean, I've been to Canada, which is just, U.S. light. But I've not really presented in such a foreign land as Singapore before, so I don't know.
Are you scared?
No.
Why not?
I'll never see these people again.
Are they going to have a translator, or is it mostly English-speaking people?
It really will be mostly English-speaking, and it will be people from all transnational companies like Cisco, and so it's in Singapore, and it's got a heavy Asian, population there, but it will be primarily English-speaking people. But I'm looking forward to it, and I said that tongue-in-cheek. I don't plan to offend anyone or disrespect their culture. I just have to be me, and hopefully that will work.
What are you going to talk about?
I'll be talking about weirdos in the workplace.
Oh.
And the age of the individual. And that really is universal. More and more young people throughout the world, as you can see in the news and in the media, are wanting to be heard. and wanting to stand out. And I think you'll see more of that in China and some of the more oppressed nations where technology is truly breaking down these barriers for dictatorships and these regimes where they're trying to, basically stifle people's ability to communicate outside their country. So the age of the individual is a good thing. It may be frustrating for managers because there are a lot different people to manage.
Right.
And sometimes they can't be managed. But I don't think it's a bad thing. Again, I like to look for the opportunity in the crisis. My logo is the yin-yang, which, is Asian, is the Chinese symbol for bringing together opposites, seeing the synergy. The opposite of, man is woman, black and white, hot and cold, life and death. I like to say pro and con. The opposite of progress is Congress. We're seeing that now, aren't we?
I love that too, and I thought I was the only one who equated man and woman, opposites equals life itself.
But when you bring them together to form a synergy, the opposites become a good thing.
Right.
So.
I thought I was the only one who thought that way. Kindred spirit.
You and me. You and me.
John, when you were on the program last year, we were just starting to feel the effects of what I don't like to refer to on the program very often, the news about the latest economic downturn. But we talked at the time about how, things will turn around, and this is no time for companies to treat employees badly. One, because it's the wrong thing to do, but two, also, things will change again, and workers will have their choice of companies. So let's keep that positive focus today and talk about the ways that employers can stand out and attract good employees, because as you know, John, no matter what times are like, it's still hard to attract the really good people.
Well, that's a perfect segue. This is why you're my favorite of all radio TV.
Aww.
Thanks, John. Thanks a lot, buddy.
And comments like that, that's why you're my favorite guest.
But you teed that up so well.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it is true. In fact, the old adage that tough times don't build character, tough times reveal character. And I'm of the belief wholeheartedly that organizations who do the right thing in tough times or in good times, that shows what their real character is. It's the companies who say, okay, I'm in the driver's seat now, the economy sucks, people are out of work, I can take advantage of it. It's pretty obvious who those companies are and which ones are the good ones. And my point in writing this third book is exactly that, Maureen and Daryl, is to educate organizations that this is an opportune time to reinvent the way they attract, retain, and motivate top talent. To get the best and the brightest, I look at the employment process as a funnel. And if you take the top of the funnel, where the candidates come in, and then we do all the screening and interviewing and reference checking and drug testing and all those things we do, hoping to get the best and the brightest out the bottom of the funnel. Well, what organizations fail to think about is they don't have a lot of control about what comes in the top of the funnel. And there are some organizations in this world who always get the pick of the litter, and then the rest of the organizations have to settle for the lesser of the losers. And I say that kind of, facetiously, but when I say that, I mean you need to have good quality coming in to get good quality coming out the bottom.
May I interrupt to ask you what companies get the pick of the litter? Can you name any names?
Well, yeah, they're the ones that are always in the best places to work lists, like Nordstrom, Ritz-Carlton, Southwest Airlines, Disney, the ones that seem to always come out on top. And they don't go wanting for top talent. Top talent comes to them. And that's because of what, we talk about brand image, reputation. That's where recruitment starts. The organizations that have a great reputation as a place to work are always going to be on top of their game because they get the best coming in the top of the funnel. And that is so critical that I'm just amazed that organizations don't understand that. And it could just be in the community. It doesn't mean they have to be world-renowned like a Ritz or a Disney or a Nordstrom. It could be, Acme grocery store on the corner in, Prospect, Pennsylvania, where I live, because it's the way you treat people.